worked for the Department of Defense, Central Intelligence Agency, National Security Agency, Office of Naval Intelligence, Defense Language Institute, and DARPA, and Interpol, and FBI. Mexico's zone of silence is a large area, mostly desert, where no radio waves, no microwaves will travel. And a lot of UFO sightings, geophysical anomalies, geomagnetic anomalies. People get sick there for disorientation and they don't know why. And there's been the Mexico desert really opened itself up to this, but there are things all over the place. You can read about this, been known about. And if you look at the latitudes that it's on, it links up with a lot of other anomalistic sites on Earth. If you take that spot and circle around the Earth perfectly, you steal the other parts of the Earth that have odd anomalistic events occurring in them. To the best of my knowledge, no one from here has done extensive research on it that's been published. It's assumed just to be some kind of geomagnetic anomaly. Strange luminous anomalies are seen there. UFO activity seems to be higher there. Strange seismic anomalies, no one can make sense of there. But no one lives there. It's totally desolate. It's an empty area. When NORAD was tracking, NORAD radar was tracking this unknown, it suddenly appeared out of nowhere at extremely high speeds, performing maneuvers that nothing on Earth today or even then or today could do. So you have anomalistic motion, incredibly speeds, high deloading, and nothing we know of then or now can accelerate to 50,000 miles per hour and stop in an instant. The inertial effects would carry you and the object apart. And again, it crossed in and out of U.S. airspace. When something appears on the radar from nowhere and then jumps around in altitude and location and violates U.S. airspace, we look at it very closely because even back then we were worried about what if someone launches an attack from another part of the world on us. And that's always been a concern of the government, that if we lose the ability to differentiate between national defense concerns, which is that of being someone firing a missile at us from God knows where, or a UFO, we could have a third world war in our hands. Once the Defense Department and the CIA became aware of what was happening, and it was obvious to them that the vehicle they were tracking, the unknown, was not, and it wasn't an aircraft we launched, or anyone launched, because its performance envelope far exceeded what we knew of then or even now, in general. And we learned of the crash between this UFO or unknown and a small private plane. They both went down. Overflights and satellite show the dead bodies. We asked Mexico, we want to dispatch men, means troops. They said no. We said okay, and then we did it anyway. The concern was greater than worry. We weren't really concerned over Mexico being upset with our violating their national borders, and so we just did it. The best evidence as to how the AIDS virus, HIV, got into the human population was they needed to test this genetically modified alien pathogen, and they tested it on animals initially. Then they tested it in human environments, controlled environments, prisons, inoculations in prisons, certain cultural locations where nobody really cared if this disease showed up, hoping that they would see this toxicity level at a very high level. We felt it would be very great. To their disappointment, it wasn't useful as a bioweapon because it took too long to kill. However, on the other end, if they kept it at its lethality level, no one would be able to handle it unless you had a level 4 environment and NBC suits, which were totally impossible. So the great experiment, which was illegal by then, even those days, failed. to demonstrate the complicity of our own government in terms of testing weapons of great lethality on its own population. In New York, in San Francisco, in Hawaii, the U.S. government has admitted doing open-air biological warfare testing long ago. Well, they had to do it, so we're their guinea pigs. They admitted it, and whether they're doing it now, I don't know, but there's all this talk of things called chemtrails. Not contrails, but supposedly they put special stuff in fuels that condense, and then they drop down and it's supposed to have some kind of potentially damaging effect on people's health. I don't know enough about it to say one thing or the other, but I've heard about it. This could be something like that, or it could be total nonsense. I don't know.